Hi everyone, we are considering algebraic process 2, which is linear and quadratic equations. Now, let's move on. Now, the contents are revision of linear and quadratic expressions, solution of quadratic expressions of the form AB equals to 0, comma A equals to 0 or B equals to 0, and formation of quadratic equation with given roots. Now let's go. Revision of linear and quadratic expressions. Any expression in which highest power of the unknown is 1 is called a linear expression. What I mean is that L, the power is not greater than 1. So just like this equation, s plus 1, which is a linear equation, since x is not raised to power 2 or 3, that means this A is a linear expression, and number B, which is 2y plus 3, is also linear expression. Why? Because the power, the index, the power of the alphabet, the letter there is just 1. Are you getting it now? So if it is 2, it's called quadratic. Are you getting it? But this one is a linear, simple linear equation, and p minus 1 over 2 also. It's not p squared minus 1 over 2. If it is p squared minus 1 over 2, so it's no more a linear expression. So let's move on. In general, linear expressions are expressions of the form ax plus b. Are you getting it? That is, ax plus b is a linear expression where a and b are constants and x is a variable. Are you getting it now? So let's go to quadratic expression, which is that whose highest power of the unknown is 2. I've just said it, and the examples are x squared plus 3x. This is a quadratic expression. And then b, which is 2x squared minus 6x plus 10. What makes this a quadratic expression is that from the letter there, which is x, the number is greater than 1 and is 2. So if it is 2, the index number, which is x squared here, is 2, which is a quadratic expression. Now let's go to factorization of quadratic expression. Now, examples. Number 1, factorize the following quadratic expressions. X squared plus yx, that's question A, and then 1b is 2x squared minus 6x. Let's move further. Now, solution. Now, solution. Now, x squared, which is A, our question here now, x squared plus 3x. In this expression, we can find a common factor. X is a common factor of these terms, of the terms of x squared and 3x. So what is common between them is x. Hence, x squared plus 3x can be written as x dot x plus 3 dot x. Are you seeing it now? So if you want to get the factor of this, you want to factorize this, you can do it like this. No, x squared is x times x, y 3x is 3 times x, which is this one. Are you seeing it now? This is this one. Yeah. So now, what is common here? X, this x and this x is common. Why this one and this is not common? Are you seeing it now? So that means when you factorize now, you take common x out. Are you getting it now? You take common x out and you close the bracket for the remaining. So that is what we are going to do. Now, what is common here is only x. After x, there is nothing x. So let's go now. We now have x that is common, open bracket. What remains when you remove x here? It remains x. What remains when you remove x here? It remains 3. That is why we have 3 here and we close the bracket. That is how to factorize this expression. Now let's go to the number 1b, which is number 1b. Example number 1b, which is 2x squared minus 6x. So doing the same thing, what is the common factor here. I think 2 is common here and even x is common here, but let's see now. The common factors of the terms 2x squared and 6x is 2x. You will know why we get 2x now. You know that 2x squared minus 6x can be written as 2x. Are you seeing it now? 2 dot x dot x. Are you getting it now? Minus 2 dot 3 dot x dot x. This one, suppose there is no x behind this one. There is no, because it's just 6x. There is no x behind this one. So there is no x. This one, we cancel this one. Totally, there is no x here. It's just going to be 2x dot x and 2 dot 3x dot 3 dot x. Are you seeing it now? So now, what are the things that are common here? So let me do it one after the other. 2 is common. You write 2 out. Are you following me? And then x is common. You write x out. That's why we got 2x. Are you seeing it now? That is why we got 2x. So then let's move on. Hence we obtain 2x. Well, by the time you open the bracket, when you remove 2x from here, it remains only x. That's why x is here. And minus is here, you write the minus. When you remove 2 here, it remains 3, and the x has already been cancelled, which is now close the bracket. That is what you get, 2x, open the bracket, x minus 3. Now let's go to number 2. Factorize the following. X squared plus 8x minus 20. B 7 minus 2x plus 3x squared and 6a squared plus 15a plus 9. These are quadratic expression solution. Now from here you can find the product of the first and the last terms. You know, this is a division we have been taught quadratic equation before, which quadratic expression before, which you can go and get the previous class on quadratic equation. But however, I'm still going to revise it here and in a more clear term. Now you want to find a factor. The first thing is that you multiply the first term here by the last term. Are you getting it now? Which is now going to be x squared times minus 20. Are you getting it? So that is what we are saying. So find the product of the first and the last terms, which is x squared times minus 20, which is now going to be minus 20x squared. Now, having done that, find two terms such that their product is minus 20x and their sum is plus 8x. That's what how you are going to find the factor. Now you have to find two terms that will result to minus 2x squared when you multiply those two terms, and then when you add those two terms you are going to get plus 8x. Let's go so that you get this. This one has been stabilized. We had a lot of suggestion for this one. Let me go back. So now this is what I'm saying. Now we just decide now the factor of minus 20x squared and the sum of plus 8x. That's why we stabilize it, and then let's see what we are talking about. Now we just pick minus 20x and x. When you multiply minus 20x and plus x, you are going to get minus 20x squared. Are you getting it? Which is correct. It's correct here. But when you add minus 20x and plus x together, you will get minus 19x, which is not equals to plus 8x. That means this one is wrong. Then we cannot pick this one. Are you seeing it now? What can you suggest again that will give you minus 20x squared and then plus 8x? I think you are getting this thing gradually. Are you seeing it? So now they still say, okay, let's say plus 20x and minus x. By the time you add plus 20x, you multiply plus 20x minus x, you get minus 20x squared, which is correct. But by the time you add them together, you get plus 19x, which is not equals to plus 8x, which is wrong. We can pick this one also. Now when we get here, okay, what can you multiply to get 20x squared minus 20x, and when you add it, you are going to get plus 8x. Let's say 10 times 2, you are going to get 20. I mean, now let's say minus 10x. Are you seeing it now? Minus 10x and plus 2x. Let's say minus 10x times plus 2x is going to be 20 minus 20x squared, which is correct. By the time you add them together, you are going to get minus 8x. Minus 8x is incorrect because we are looking for plus 8x. That means we can pick this one as the factor. Now let's say, okay, we are picking plus 10x and minus 2x. Multiply plus 10x and minus 2x, we are going to get minus 20x squared, which is correct. And then when you add them together, plus 10x minus 2x is going to give you plus 8x, which is correct also. That means we are picking this. So when you still go further to get some other factors like minus 5x and then plus 4x, by the time you multiply them together, you get minus 20x squared, which is correct. But when you add them together, you get minus x, which is absolutely wrong. Now when you do this one also, plus 5x and minus 4x, multiply them, you are going to get to minus 20x squared. But by the time you add them, you are going to get plus x, which is very wrong. That means we are picking D. This is A, B, C, D. We are picking D, which is this one, which is this one you are picking now. We are now picking this two factor, which is plus 10x and minus 2x. That is our final decision, which is this one. Yeah, this one. So that is what we are picking. So we have the two factors already. Let's move on. Now of these, only D gives the required result. Replace plus 8x with the two factor that we have gotten in the equation they gave us. Now you are going to replace this one, anywhere you see this one, by the two factor that we have gotten. Are you getting it now in the given expression? The factor, then factorize the grouping, factorize by grouping the terms. So let's move further. So now the equation is x squared plus 8x minus 20 is now going to be x squared. Where you see 8x, you are now going to replace it by those two factors. When you see 8x here plus 8x here, you are now going to put plus 10x minus 2x like this. So because when you do this, you are still going to get plus 8. Are you seeing me? X already. That's what you are going to get. Are you getting it? That means we can replace it with this. So having done that, then you can go further. Now that means you can factorize now. That means you can factorize this one and you can factorize this one. Now here, what is common in the two of them? Are you following? What is common in the two of this one is x. You can now open the bracket to be x open bracket x plus 10, and then what is common here is minus 2, and then you can now say minus 2 open bracket x. By the time you change this one, because minus is outside already, it's going to turn to plus. Since you have factored out 2, then you are going to see that this one is 10. So that's how we get it. Let's move further. So now you are now going to get x open bracket x plus 10 minus 2, because minus 2 is common to minus 2x and minus 20. And then when you open the bracket, after you have removed minus 2 from this one, it remains x, and then minus, you have put outside, this minus return to plus, and then after you have removed 2, it's going to be 10. That's why we got this. That means this one and this one are common. X plus 10 is common to the 2. You are now going to carry x plus 10, and then this x and minus 2, you are going to carry them. It's now going to be x plus 10 and then x minus 2. Are you getting it now? Open bracket, x plus 10, close the bracket, open bracket, x minus 2. That's the final answer. Now let's go to question B, which is 6a squared plus 15a plus 9, which is this. Now from this expression, you can discover that 3 is a common factor. First, you can take out the common factor from there, which is now going to be 3, open bracket. When you remove 3 from 6a squared, it's going to be 2a squared. Plus when you remove 3 from 15a, it's going to be 5a. And then when you remove 3 from 9, you are going to get 3. So you can now carry out, do your factor with the equation that is inside the bracket. Now, which is now going to be 2a squared. Now you know that you are going to first multiply the first with the last. That is, you are going to multiply the first with the last. It is now going to be 2a squared times 3 to get the factor that you want to look for. You are now going to look for two factors, two terms, that when you multiply them together will give you plus 6a squared, and when you add them together they will give you this one, plus 5a. Are you getting it? Get it clear? Now, since I haven't done this one, you are now going to look for a product of two terms that will give you plus 6a squared, and addition that will give you 3. Are you following me? So let's move on very quickly. Now let's see what we are talking about. Okay, I mean, when you add them together, it's going to give you 5a. That's what I don't want my statement to confuse you. You are looking for two terms that when you multiply them together it will give you this one, 6 plus 6a squared, and when you add them together it will give you plus 5a. So that's what we are talking about. Now let's say, okay, if we say 1 times 6 is 6. Are you getting it now? So that's one factor that we suggested, which is plus 6a and plus 1a, which is plus a. Multiply them together, you will get 6a squared, which is correct. Add them together. When you add them together, you will get plus 7a, which is very wrong. It's not correct. So we cannot pick this one. Now you can still as well say 3 times 2, which is 6. Are you getting it now? Which is plus 3a times plus 3b, that's 2a, which is going to give you plus 6a squared, which is very correct. And when you add them together it will give you plus 5a, which is correct. That means we are picking the factor of plus 3a and plus 2a. That's a factor, and then we can press further from here. Now 6a squared plus 15a plus 9 equals to, the 3 is already outside, and we close the bracket. That is what we have gotten here. Are you seeing now? And then we have gotten the factor to be 2 plus 3a, and we have gotten the factor to plus 3a and plus 2a. So now wherever you see plus 5a, put plus 2a and plus 3a, which is plus 3a and plus 2a. Yeah, I haven't done that. use this to find the common factor and use this to find the common factor. In this one, you are going to get what is common here is a. A is going to be outside. A open bracket 2a plus 3. And then what is common here? There's nothing. That is only 1. 1 open bracket 2a plus 3. Are you getting it now? That's what we are going to get. I want you to follow carefully, and then let's move on. That will be 3, and then a open bracket 2a plus 3, then plus 1 open bracket 2a plus 3. You can now see that 2a plus 3 are common here. You write 2a plus 3 out, and 3 plus 1, you will write them out. Are you getting it now? This is now going to be 3. 3 is outside the bracket already. 2a plus 3 close the bracket, and a plus 1. You know it's a plus 1, not 3 plus 1. A, this a that is here, and 1. This is a plus 1. Now, this is the final expression that we get for this quadratic expression. Are you seeing it now? That's what we are talking about. You can just say 6a plus 9, and then we can just leave it like that. That's the final answer. So let's move on to C. C is 7 minus 2x plus 3x squared. Find the product first and last terms. And that is what you are going to do. You are going to multiply the first and the last together, which is 7 times 3x squared, which is 21 plus 21x. And then you are going to find the two terms for this plus 21x squared. So that is, you are looking for two terms that when you multiply them together, they will give you plus 21x squared. And when you add them together, they will give you minus 22x squared. So let's move on, which is now going to be find the two terms so that their number is minus 2x squared, and is minus 22x, and their product is plus 21x squared. As in the middle terms is negative, consider the negative factors only. The terms are, when you do the same method that we did in A and B, you will get minus 21x and minus x. And when you replace minus 22x with minus 21x and minus x in the given expression, you are going to get 7 minus 22x plus 3x equals to 7 minus 21x minus x plus 3x squared. I believe you understand this. We replace minus 22x by minus 21x and minus x. So that is what we are talking about, which you are now going to get. You know, this was the factor of 7 and 21x and the factor of x and 3x squared. So what is common between 7 and minus 21x is 7. You open the bracket. When you remove 7 from here, it remains 1. When you divide 7 by this one, it remains 1. Minus, when you divide 21 by 7, it remains minus 3x. Are you getting it? You got this one. And then from here to here is minus x. That is common. Now see minus x. When you divide minus x by minus x, 1, which is this one. And then when you divide 3x squared divided by minus x, it's going to turn to minus 3x. Because x will cancel, x remain 1x up. That's why you get minus 1 minus 3x and close the bracket. Now you can see 1 minus 3x here and 1 minus 3x here are common. You can pick them up here, and 7 and minus x, that is here. This is the final expression. I believe you understand. Let's move on. Solution of quadratic expression of the form AB equals to 0, comma A equals to 0, or B equals to 0. It means that when you have a letter multiplying together and their result is 0, it is either the first letter equals to 0 or the second letter is 0. That's why you get a 0 answer. One must be at least 0 for you to get a 0 answer in any product, in any multiplication. Are you getting it now? Let's move forward. Now, if the product of the two numbers is 0, then one of the numbers, or possibly both of them, must be 0. At least one must be 0, or both are 0. Now, for example, when you have 3 times 0, now you are going to get 0. That means it's because 0 is there. And when you have 0 times 5, you are going to get 0. When you multiply 0 times 0, you are going to get 0. In general, if A times B is equals to 0, what we mean is that A is either A is 0 or B is 0, or both of them are zeros. Are you getting it? That's why the result is 0. You multiply A times B and you get 0. It means that A is 0 or B is 0, or both of them are 0. Examples now. Example number 1, solve the equation completely. Now, this is what we are talking about. If this one is open bracket x minus 2 close bracket open bracket x plus 7 close bracket equal to 0, and it means that this one times this one is equals to 0. And what we are talking about, if the multiplication of these two is equal to 0, then it's either this is 0 or this is 0, and when they multiply together they give the 0. Are you getting it now? So that means if we represent this one to be A and this one to be B, it means that it's either this A equals to 0 or this B equals to 0. That's what I want to explain. And then let's move on. Solution is that if we have this expression like this equals to 0, is either x minus 2 equals to 0 or x plus 7 equals to 0. Now, if x minus 2 times x plus 7 is equals to 0, then it's either x minus 2 equals to 0 or x plus 7 equals to 0. And then you can calculate x by the time you carry this minus 2 to the bar. It's going to turn to plus 2, which is x. It's either x equals to 2 or x equals to minus 7. When you carry plus 7 back to equal to, it's going to turn to minus 7. That is the final answer. It is either x equals to 2 or x equals to minus 7. Now let's solve the equation. Example 2. Solve the equation A over bracket A plus 3 equals to 0. Very simple. If A plus 3, A over bracket A plus 3 close bracket equals to 0, it means that it's either this A equals to 0 or the one in the bracket equals to 0. That is A equals to 0 or A plus 3 equals to 0. Are you following now? So that is it. Now let's go to formation of quadratic equation with given roots. Now the root of a quadratic equation are the solutions of the equation. Suppose the root of a quadratic equation is x. In x are A and B. Suppose the root of a quadratic equation in x are A and B, then we can write x to be equals to A and then x to be equals to B. Let's move on. Example is this: find the quadratic equation whose roots are minus 2 and plus 2. Are you seeing it now? Let's go. Solution: let x equals to minus 2 or x equals to 2. This is what we are saying. If we have this root to be like this, then you can take any letter. It means that any letter you take is either is equals to minus 2 or the same letter is equals to 2. Are you getting it now? For the root of the equation of quadratic, you know that it's in 2 or no. Yeah, 1 or no, but in 2. You understand now? So x this question so that you get it. When they write a question like this, you have 2 roots of the equation. Are you getting it? It means that it's either x or you take k or you take y equals to minus 2 or x equals to plus 2. That's what you write. That is interpretation. Then they say we should find the root. Then we are now going to have bring this minus 2 back to x. It's going to turn to plus 2 at the x plus 2 equals to 0. Are you getting it? And then bring this one back to x. It's going to be x minus 2 equals to 0. And then is either x plus 2 equals to 0 or x minus 2 equals to 0. Put them into bracket. 0 is common here. It's now going to be x plus 2, x minus 2 equals to 0. Are you seeing now? Now, on careful expansion, we can obtain x squared minus 4 equals to 0. That is the root of the equation that they want you, the equation, the quadratic equation that they want you to get. By the time you expand this one and this one, you get x squared minus 4 equals to 0. Find the equation whose roots are this one and this one. Doing the same, using the same method, you are going to get it right. Now solution: if the roots are 2 over 1 over 2 and minus 1, then let x equals to 2 over 1 over 2 and x equals to minus 1. Carry them back. Are you following? Clear this one. 2 times 2, 4 plus 1, 5 is 5 over 2, and x is minus 2. Now you can clear this one. It's going to be 2x equals to 5 and then x minus 2. So you can now bring 5 back to this place, which will be 2x minus 5 equals to 0, and then bring minus 1 to this place. It's going to be x plus 1 equals to 0, which is now going to be 2x minus 5, this one, and then x plus 1, this one, is equals to 2, is equal to 0. That is 2 open bracket 2x minus 5 close bracket open bracket x plus 1 close bracket equals to 0. Now by the time you expand this, you are going to get 2x squared plus 2x minus 5x minus 5, which is, when by the time you add this one, it's going to be minus 3x. Are you seeing it now? Once you multiply this one, you know that one. 2x squared minus 3x minus 5 is equals to 0. Are you getting it? This is the question that you are asked to find. Now let's go to linear graphs. Recall that any equation whose highest power of the unknown is 1 is a linear equation. To draw a graph of a linear equation, we need to make a table of the value for that equation. Now plot the graph of the linear equation, then that's all you need. For example, now draw the graph of y equals to x minus 1. What makes this equation a linear one is because the power is not greater than 1. The index power, raised to power, does not up to 2. Are you getting it now? Now solution. Now what we are talking about is y equals to x minus n. You can draw the table using the range of minus 2 to 2, which is x is ranging from minus 2 to 2, and then y, I haven't done that. Minus 1 is constant, that's why we put all the minus 1. Y is equals to x minus 1. Look at how I'm going to do it. Y is equals to x minus 1. Wherever you see x here, put the number that you saw. Let's say x is minus 2. What will y be? We are going to be minus 2, and this one minus 1. Minus 2 minus 1 is going to be minus 3. That's why we got this one. Are you seeing it now? So when x is a 0, you take a 0 to this place. It's now going to be 0, 0 minus 1, which is now going to be minus 1. That's why we got this one. And then when x is 2, we just put 2 minus 1 is equal to plus 1. That's how they got that. Having done that, then you are good to go to plot graph. You put x on the horizontal and y on the vertical, and then you are going to get a straight line. Let me do it so that you understand what I mean. Are you getting me? Now when x is equals to minus 2, this is minus 2 here. When x is equals to minus 2, I think this is minus 2 here. We can draw this line further. So this is x, which is around minus 2 here. Then y is equals to minus 3. It's going to form somehow. So let's see. And then when x is equals to 0, y is equal to minus 1. When x is equal to 0, y is equal to minus 1. That's why this point is here. And then when x is 2, y is equal to 1. That's why you get 1 when x is 2. X is 2, y is equal to 1. So if this one drop, you will now know y is equals to 1. That is what you get. Now the scale is 2 centimeters to 1 unit on both sides. So let's move on. Now you need to draw quadratic graph. To draw a quadratic graph, we need to also follow same process of drawing linear graph. Now let's move on. When you have this example and you have this equation, example 1, draw the example now. Draw the general graph of y equals to x squared plus 2x plus 1. Now solution. You are going to form a table since y equals to x squared plus 2x plus 1. Now we shall now make a table for the value of x and y. This is the table, and I'm going to explain yes to the best of your understanding. Now this is x. When you have x, we suggest a number that range from -3 to +3. That is, we have -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Are you seeing it now? That's what we are saying. Now you can do it yourself instead of omitting anything, and you do it, and then you know that we have x here, put that x here. You know that we have +2x here, put this +2x here. You know we have 1 here plus this, put this 1 here plus 1, and then y, we put it down. Let's go. For x squared, when x is -3, it means the x is -3 all squared, which is now going to turn to minus times minus plus, and 3 times 3 is 9. You got this one. And then when x is 2x, when x is -3, then 2x will now be 2 times -3, which is -6. Are you getting it? But 1 is constant, you write 1. You do it for all the numbers. When x is -2, you put -2 into this x squared, it's going to be +4, and then you put -2. Are you following now? You put -2, it's going to be -4. Then when x is -1, and you put -1 here, it's going to be +1. Are you following now? It's going to be +1. And then when x is 0, when x is 0, the 0 square is 0. That is how we got this one, and so on. That's how you do it. When you now do it, you now add these 3 together. Don't let the line up. Don't add this one up. Don't add this one. Just add this one. 1, 2, 3. So add 9 minus 6 and 1. Plus 9 minus 6 is +3 plus 1, which is 4. That's how you got 4. 4 plus -4 is 0. Plus 1 is 1. That's how we got 1. Then 1 plus 1 plus this is -1. -1 square is 1. Sorry, and then minus 2 times -1 is -2. This is -2. We now will be 1 minus 2 is -1, and then -1 plus 1 is 0. Are you seeing it now? So that's how you do it, and you add, and then you get all that is in y. So let's move on. Note that when plotting the graph, we choose a scale such that our graph is as large as possible, and also occupies the center of the graph sheet. This will enable us to obtain the point where the graph cuts the x-axis more easily. Now number 2 is that we join the point in the diagram by a smooth curve. Now let's move on. This is what we have gotten. Are you getting me? And this is what we are going to plot. We are going to plot x into horizontal and then y into vertical. Let's move on. This is what you are going to get, and I will be showing you very carefully how we got to this place. You know, when x is -3, y is 4. Are you getting me? X is -3 here, then y is 4. This is it. When x is -3, y is 4. Are you seeing it now? That's it. And then when x is -2, y is 1. When x is -2, y is 1. Y is 1. This is it. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it? And then when x is minus 1, are you following me? When x is minus 1, y is 0. N is minus 1, y is 0. Are you following me? And then when x is 0, x is 0 here, then y is 1. This is y is 1 when x is 0. And then when x is 2, y is 9. When x is 2, y is 9. We can go further. Are you getting it? That's how this thing was plotted. And then by the time you do that one, now join them together. Join the point together. And this is what we got. So let's move on. Now let's go to how to obtain roots from a quadratic graph. Now to obtain the root of a quadratic equation from a quadratic graph, we need to first plot the graph of the expression and then obtain the root by reading the two values of x where the graph cuts or touches the axis of x, where y is 0. You are going to get it. Let's go. Example, draw a graph to find the root of equation y equals to 4x squared minus 20x plus 25. Solution. You draw the table. When you draw the table, you say x ranging from the 0 to 5. You can choose something like that. You just choose like at least 4 number. Having done that, you have done the x, which is clear. Now the first expression is 4x squared. You put it here. Second is minus 20. You put 20x. You put it here. Plus 25. You put it here, and you put your y. And then you start when x is 0. You can put is 0 to 4 times 0. You know it's x squared. It's 0 squared, which is now going to be 0. That's why you got 0 here. And then when x is 0 and you put it here, minus 20 times 0 is 0 also. And then 25 is constant. You put it here. When x is 1, which is now going to be 4 times 1 raised to the power 2, which is 4. That's why we got this. When x is 1, minus 20 times 1 is going to be minus 20 because it's 2x. Are you getting it now? And then 25 is constant. Then when x is 2, it's now going to be 4 times x squared, which is 2. X is 2, which is now going to be 2x, 2 squared, which is now going to be 4. And then 4 times 4 is going to be 16. That's why we got this. And then minus 20 times 2 is going to be minus 40. And then 25 is constant. This is how we are going to do all until you get to this place. That is very simple. It might be time consuming. So that's how you do. And then you are going to get this graph with plotting x, which is 0 to 5, and then y that we have gotten. So when you get this one, how will you find the root? Actually, this one did not really cut x in two sides. Are you getting me? It just cut x at the middle, and at the middle is 2.5 that this one cut, which is now find the graph. From the graph, it is clear that the curve does not cut the x-axis. It appears to touch the x-axis where x equals to 2.5. That's what I'll say. The result can be checked by factorization. If you want to know the answer, you can use factorization method to calculate, and then when you calculate using this, you are going to get x equals to 2.5 twice. So that's why it is like that. Note, when the curve touches the x-axis, the root is said to be coincident. That means if the answer is 25 and then it's equal, then they are coincident. So such an answer is coincident. Find an equation from a given graph. Now it is possible to find the equation of a curve from its graph. The graph of y equals to x squared minus 2x minus 3 cuts the x-axis, and the line y equals to 0 at the point x equals to minus 1 and x equals to plus 3. So you draw it. Then this implies that minus 1 and 3 are the root of the equation. Of course, that is it of this one. I haven't seen that one. Therefore, in general, if a graph cut the x-axis at point A and B, it satisfies the equation like this. Are you getting it now? Satisfied. So let's go now. I think you have understood it. It satisfies it since it cut A and B. So now let's go. For example 1, obtain the equation of the graph below. Now this is the graph. Now how will you get the equation of the graph? I will tell you clearly. Wherever the line, the curved line cut x-axis, that is where you get the root of the equation. Let's see, where did it cut first? Here it cut at 1 and it cut at 2. That's what the thing is. That means x is equals to 1 or x equals to 2. That is it. Now solution from the graph: when y equals to 0, x is 1, and when y equals to 0, x is 2. Now then you are now going to write it like this: x minus 1 and then x minus 2 equals to 0. That is what you are going to get. Therefore, this equation at point P, y equals to 2 when x equals to 0. Now the equation of the curve is now x squared, y equals to x squared minus 3x plus 2. Now another example 2. Obtain the equation of the graph below. This is a y question. When you see like this, then you will know where it cut x, which is minus 0.5, and where it cut x here, which is plus 2. Then you are now going to get x equals to minus 0.5 or x equals to plus 2. Let's move on. The solution: in the graph above, you have y equals to 0 and x is equal to 1 over 2 or x equals to 2. Then you have something like this. This is x minus 1 over 2 and then x minus 2. When you bring x to 2 to x here, when you bring minus 1 over 2 to this place, it's going to turn to plus, which is x plus 1 over 2, open bracket and close, 2 minus x minus 2. Are you seeing now? So that is the equation. By the time you expand, by the time you now see, okay, this is what we have gotten, how will you follow? Yes. So that is it. You get it. Now solve in the curve above at the point P when y equals to minus 2, when x equals to 0. However, the constant terms in the equation is only minus 1. So we multiply both sides by the equation 2. So this one, you have 2x squared minus 3x minus 2. We now be equation 2 satisfy x minus 1 over 2 and then x minus 2 equals to 0. The requirement that the constant term should be minus 2. The equation of the curve is y equals to 2x squared minus 3x minus 2. So that is how far we can go